people who often have never taken a video. And we buy very simple little cameras. They're like 100, 125 US, very simple to use, like start, stop. There's no complicated zooming or anything fancy. One community or another community we've actually done has used cell phones, the smartphones, to do the videos. So there's a training session and practicing to take shots of each other, and some people forget to turn on the camera, and some people hold the camera sideways, and some people are shaking, and so that takes a few days or hours depending. It's always a lot of fun. But the real meat then is translating that problem analysis to their story. So they have the issues, and they often have started to talk about the solutions, some of their responses that they want to do. They have ideas, and they then create a storyboard. And this is a common filmmaking technique, that you map out in pictures what your story in your video is going to be. And the community does this. So they draw the pictures and decide what they want to talk about, and the order. And if you do it like this, you can shift things around and add things. So we just draw and stick it up on a wall or put it on the floor. And then they are ready to go and take their shots. The idea of, okay, to talk about this, you need to film something. Something needs to be filmed, either a scene of a mountain deforested, or you need to go and talk to a farmer to say his land is being flooded. So they need to really translate the talking in a room into what am I going to film. And we break them up into teams, and they go out into the community to film. So we are not even there. This is really them doing the filming, them deciding who they're going to interview when, and so on. And so what it means is that the people that they interview are very comfortable, because it's their own neighbor or their own family member who they grew up with for many years. So this Rasta has his little cheapsy simple phone, and he's filming one lady interviewing another, talking about the problem. So they find that very empowering, that they are in control of what gets on the film. Even something which we wouldn't even think of as a step, but somehow getting what's on the camera onto the computer to start editing is a major step for some people who never even use a computer. So this community in Core Value is very exciting, where you see the two hands. Somebody was helping one of the guys in how to download his footage, because he had never used a computer. So that in itself was really exciting. So they download all the footage that they've taken of their storyboard, their clips. Everybody's assigned to take different shots. So they come back with their shots, and they look at what each other has taken. Because Nicole will have to take the shot of the hillside. John will have to go and find a farmer to interview, right? And they work in little teams. And then we all see it. I'm like, John, your interview is terrible. You need to go and do it again. You cut off the man's head. Or I can't hear what he was saying. And you say, well, Nicole, you're shaking. You're shaking. I don't understand. So they look at each other, or they say, hey, what a great shot. Sometimes they do a lot of improvising. They run into somebody, and they start to interview them. And I'm like, but that's not on the storyboard. But it's a great interview. So they come back, and your storyboard starts to change, because they are really starting to get comfortable, and they go out and they say, hey, we should take a shot of that house on the hill that's falling down because it's collapsed because of soil erosion. Let's go up there and get that. And they start to really get ideas. There's the community decides the editing. They say, John, we're going to open up with your clip interviewing the farm. Then we're going to move to the shot Liz took of the river flooding. Then Nicole's clip, but we're going to cut it in half because her hand was shaking. So let's go just show a quick thing. So they decide, but we get a technical person who's good with the software, which is not that hard, but it's beyond me. to put it together. They sit in the room and the community tells them what to do. Put this clip, then that clip, then that clip. So they actually sit together and do it. And it's not horrible, it takes an hour or two. And then there's the final production and dissemination. So that rough edit that the community has done, the technical person then goes and tidies it up and puts in the music and puts in the credits and so on. That takes another couple of hours. But the community really owns the product. It's their video. You realize you have had very little control. It's their story, they've taken the footage, they've done the editing. We also work with them to do a communication plan. How are they going to take this video? Who are their audiences? What are the key messages? How are we going to engage the audiences? Are we going to have a meeting with them? Are we going to put it up on YouTube or whatever? And we've put stuff up on YouTube and links on our video and so on like that. I wanted to show you a 2-minute clip from one of the interviews, which was done quite early in the process. It was not the greatest quality, but it's reality. This is the type of thing that people go and take. So, let's see. Oh, you're not getting the volume. Can you do a microphone over there? Okay. So this is a farmer who they're interviewing. And he's standing at a point in the river that floods very often. And they're breaking all the rules of filmmaking and having a conversation with him while they're filming. But will you see the quality? These are not professional filmmakers. So sometimes they will then view this and they say, oh, I didn't know I was shaking, and they go back and they do it again. But sometimes they can't, because they just happen to see this guy. Are we going to get it? So, if you get it, you get it. If not, you can see the idea. Try and come back to it. Yeah.
Get it on your computer, and then everyone can just see it on the table.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. So I mean, the results are that the community has worked together to share their own ideas, right? Because everybody has a different perspective. A farmer's perspective is going to be different from a housewife. So you get all of them sharing ideas because they have to plan this thing collectively and do the footage. So there's a huge result of building collective community vision. It's also a product that they've produced that you can use to communicate and for advocacy with government who you may want to do something to help you. It also builds relationships with partners because you've brought in partners to the community and they see what's going on and they're really getting excited in how to support the community. And what we're doing here then is piloting a process that's very unstructured, very much not determined by us, influenced to some by some knowledge base, because there is an early introduction to the science and so on, but a very broad brush. It's not an in-depth analysis of things like this, which is very nice to do. And things like this, tools like this, and activities can be folded into a participatory video process to help them better plan what they want to do. But participatory video is a tool that we are using here, we're piloting to use in community climate change adaptation, but it can be used for many other things, including documenting traditional knowledge, including monitoring and evaluation, including participatory research. So it's a little tool that we're piloting and don't have a lot of results yet, but you can keep an eye on our website and Facebook page and YouTube channel. Is that it?
river is come down the road, and it have a rapid is come down here. And when the rain fall, it is make the whole area get swamped out. I mean, you can't see the road, you can't, water's coming all the time by my place and flood the whole area. And if you don't get a bridge really soon, you have more problems because the water has come and the trash is stick. You can't go on all kind of stuff and it's sticky and it just rise up and flooding the whole area.
So how you all get out to produce when that occurs?
Well, when that occurs, we have to meet CO2 to water the ground and then we have to go to the market because the way we cut for Wednesday, the Tuesday morning, sometimes Friday, and the weekend, you know, it's a real problem with this because it's not
So, well, with that problem, what do you think could go on happen to avoid that problem that the farmers have in here?
well, the farmers have to really come together and do some about it because over the years we've been here and we just tried to take on from our competent conflicts here so we can cross. And we went to the government many times, all land in the water department, we went to agriculture, we went to agriculture, the senator, land and water, and then tell us what this road is not what is it?
Accessible.
Accessible. Because after came the last time, which is the agriculture, the area, so that's going to get a bridge and she came back and told us there's no money for the bridge. So we always have a problem, but when we get the promise, yes, come and then they say, no, we will come. So we have to do it.
Okay, well this is a canary for what we are doing here and trying to, you know, concerning with global warming and flooding and climate change and all these different things. So we trust by this documentation something would be done concerning your plan.
Okay, thank you. So that's a clip that will be folded into.
Okay, so we are going a little bit early, so we do have time for a final discussion for a question and answer with everyone in the middle of the table again. We can do it here in this space, or we can do it in another space if you choose to do so. If everybody wants to go get a drink, okay. Okay, so would you like to come back into the center?